Good, how are you guys?
Good, very well.
Oh, thank you. Thought I'd go a little bright today. A little sci-fi-ish.
Well, playing your character, obviously, you got to play different versions of her throughout. What was that process like, creating each basically version of that?
You know, in the beginning it was Caprica 6, and then that morphed into number 6, and I didn't know at the time if it was the same character that had just sort of changed, or a lot of my beginning of the show for me was just really putting faith in the writers, because, as I said in the panel, which I don't know if you were in there, the series Bible that Ron Moore put out, all the main characters had 2 or 3 page backstories, and I had the machine as a woman. I had one short sentence, and so I really, I didn't know all the way along, could he see her, or, why could he see her until the very last episode, and so there was a lot of just kind of blind faith that I had to go into and just play within that. So when the other characters came along, I was really happy to have the other characters. Number 6, as much as I love her, was kind of limiting. She really didn't have a storyline of her own. You never saw her on her own, right? Hanging out in her chambers, like, and going through whatever. It was always in relation to Baltimore. So when the Pegasus episodes came along and Gina came along, it was something that I really felt like I could dig my teeth into more. And then when we started getting the other 6s, it was for me, I always saw them as individual people, and I based them off of what their experiences had been with humans, what those experiences had been like. Had they been, on the Cylon side the whole time? Had they been on the human side as kind of, a secret agent? And if the relationships were good, maybe they had more empathy. If they were bad, so I saw them as very individual people. And to me, it was a challenge. It was fun to play.
Did you have any indication, or did you think that maybe Gaius is maybe slightly crazy?
A few times. No, his character is a really interesting character because he obviously was a little morally corrupt. He was selfish in many ways, looking out for himself, but he was also somebody that was incredibly brilliant and maybe didn't know what he was getting into in the beginning. So in the beginning, it's one of those situations where if you do something based on incomplete information, and then you get stuck, because at that point you have to make the choice to either fess up or go further down the rabbit hole. And he went further down the rabbit hole. And, ultimately, in many ways that made him more eccentric and more crazy, because he had to keep covering up and figuring things out. And James Callis is an amazing actor and a wonderful human being, and in many ways sort of like Baltar, aside from the fact that he's one of the most genuine, loving people you ever meet. But I don't look at Gaius like he was like an evil doctor. I think he was a guy that was stuck in a really hard position and made some wrong choices in the beginning that was hard to get out of.
Forgive me if somebody's already asked this, because they just brought me over. But with children, Wonder Woman and Atomic Blonde, it's like they're just now discovering that women can be these strong, kick-ass characters, and you were doing this forever ago. I mean, how does it feel to become like one of the pioneers in that?
Well, if more people think along those lines, then fantastic. I can't look back and go, oh, I wish there had been more recognition or something at that time. I get a lot of the comparisons to Orphan Black. Well, it's got all this attention, and you were doing the same thing, playing all these characters. And I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity, and with Battlestar, there was no sexism in Battlestar in terms of politics or fighter pilots, or it never really was addressed. Even the head was unisex. It was just like they were all humans or Cylons. And I haven't seen Wonder Woman yet, so I can't talk about it. And I'm looking forward to seeing it until I've seen a trailer for it, and it looks really fun. You know, I think it's due time. You know, I think it's been, as somebody that plays those, or has played those types of roles, I think it's really due time that the industry realizes that there is an audience for it, and makes good films about it, and not necessarily cheesy films about it. So I think I'm all for it. Oh gosh, I learned a lot as an actress because it was my first series. As a human, gosh, I don't know. That's a hard question. Well, you know, I think it's similar to The Walking Dead in some way, that it's about human survival and people sometimes having to do things that they wouldn't do normally. People being challenged, people being put in positions where they wouldn't do something under normal circumstances, but they have to in order to survive. But then also there is still a moral ground of within that. There's a fine line within that of crossing over and doing something that you shouldn't do. And I think Battlestar was one of those cases where it made you think. You know, it really made you think, what would you do in that circumstance? Would you be the person that lied and tried to save themselves while a whole ship full of people blew up? Or would you be the person that came forward and said something and maybe yourself had been sacrificed? You know, so I think that's one of the reasons that the show, and you can do it when it's in space, right, as opposed to The West Wing or something like that, where you are constricted to kind of our own parameters and our own societal parameters. When you're in space, you have a little bit more leeway to push the buttons and study the human psyche and study. And you know, with also science fiction, it's also what if, right? There's a huge question of what if this happened, what if that. And so I think that's one of the reasons that Battlestar still is relevant. But I don't know if I necessarily learned anything, because maybe I haven't been put in those positions yet myself. Hopefully if I am someday, hopefully not, but hopefully if I am someday, that I would make the morally just choice. Thank you.